let's get to my college football major awards predictions for 2023. I talked about the Heisman. I picked Caleb Williams for that. We'll get to that a little bit later, but I want to start with Coach of the Year here. And I got Nick Saban as my pick to win Coach of the Year in 2023. Nick Saban hasn't won a consensus Coach of the Year award since 2008 when he won Football Writers Association of America's Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award, which is the one that I vote in and the one that I really care the most about because Coach Rob means the world to me, means the world to Black America and HBCUs, and it also means the world to me that the FWAA chose to name the award after him. Now, much of Nick Saban winning this award comes down to exceeding expectations at Alabama. And frankly, he has not exceeded expectations at Alabama except for a handful of times. One of those being 2008, right? You show up in the Sugar Bowl. It doesn't matter that Utah beat you to go undefeated, didn't get to claim the national championship. It means that you turned 2016 that was sorry into a winner by 2008, and then we know what it's been since 2009 at Alabama. This year, we're talking about turning over both the coordinators, the most unheralded starting quarterback at Alabama since Cooper Bateman, no matter who wins the job, and looking at an LSU team that beats you and people expect to beat you again after you lost to Tennessee for the first time since I was a high school senior. People are also looking at Nick Saban going, a little long in the tooth, thank you, Nick. How long are you going to keep this up? Hey, man, I don't know that you get very far betting against Nick Saban, just like I don't know you get very far betting against Deion Sanders. But people are doing it, and that's why I think he will exceed their expectations and end up getting this thing right. Once again, I said it earlier this week, I'll say it again. There's only been one coach in the SEC West to double up Nick Saban in back-to-back years, and that dude is serendipitously at Auburn now. It's Hugh Freeze, Ole Miss, 2014, 2015. It don't happen often enough, right, for me to expect that LSU's going to be able to do it. Now, Harold Perkins is a monster. Talk about him in a bit. Jaden Daniels can go. Talk about him in a bit. Malik Neighbors is a man. Talk about him in a bit. But right now, I think it's going to be Nick Saban to come out on top, and I would love to see the man get another Coach of the Year award because he is the best coach ever in the sport that I love the most. And you know how much I love talking about Nick Saban because Nick Saban got folks down at LSU on the program. And people love Nick Saban so much that even after he went to Alabama, they voted him into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And he was shocked because he didn't know that Louisiana would do that for him. But that's what he means. As nasty as he can seem to most, his players love him. Parents love him. He wins football games. And every time I see there is a wrong move to make, he makes the right one. Pulling for Nick Saban this year. All right, my Offensive Player of the Year prediction. It's kind of like my Heisman prediction, right? The Heisman is a quarterback, running back award. Offensive, it's real hard for a wide receiver to win that award, let alone a tight end. So I'm going with Caleb Williams here, right? It's not just what he did last year. It's how he does it. He is a magician back there, looks dead to rights, Houdini and that of stuff. He also does it with attitude, which I think is a defining characteristic for the players that we really love in this sport. Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, Cam Newton, Joe Burrow. You think about the guys that you remember swag. You remember I'm the best thing walking. And that is how that dude goes about his business. But to win that thing, he's going to have to win a Pac-12 championship. He's going to have to get USC into the college football playoff for the first time in school history. And he's going to have to do it bigger and better than he did last year. And 4,500 yards, 50-plus TDs, 4 interceptions, that's going to be difficult. But if there is a player who can do it at the level that we're talking about, it is Caleb Williams. Also would give Lincoln Riley a 4th Heisman winner, which would tie him with Notre Dame head coach Frank Leahy, and Nick Saban. By the way, Alabama ain't had no Heisman winners before Nick Saban got there. And now he got one at quarterback. He got one at running back. He got one at wide receiver. Let me see. I'm counting them down. Oh, LSU. I got to go back to LSU. Nah, I'm messing myself up already. So we'll stick to just the 4 that he's had. Okay. And we'll go with Caven for Caleb. Trending hashtag. What do you think? Because Jim Nagy said we need to come up with something for Caleb because we came up with something last year. What were we tanking for Tua in 2017 going 2018, right? where we know who the best player is. What were they doing for Trevor? Tanking for Trevor, right? Caving for Caleb. We'll see how it goes for him. Defensive player of the year. I'm going to go with Harold Perkins. Now, I got a bit in here about JT Tuimoloau at Ohio State because what he did against number 10 Penn State, like 2 sacks, 6 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble. But what Harold Perkins doing against Arkansas is ridiculous. Like, the man was a wrecking crew by himself. And not for nothing, but Arkansas wins that game if Harold Perkins does not go seek and destroy anything wearing red that day. And that was quite literally one of the best performances that we'd seen from a defensive player all year alongside JT Tuimoloau. But what JT did was, well, the first that we'd seen in the 21st century. Now we're talking about Perkins here because I looked at what he did the rest of the season compared to what JT Tuimoloau did the rest of the season, and it's not close, right? Like last year, JT Tuimoloau finished with 10.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, okay? Did a lot of work against Penn State that one game. Last year, Harold Perkins, as a true freshman, 72 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, 3 passes defended, and a pick. That ain't too far from the kind of line he would need to put together to secure the Nagurski and Bednarik awards and the Butkus Award, right? Getting all 3 of them. Somehow they robbed my man Zaven Collins of the Butkus Award, but you know what? It's fine. It's whatever. Harold Perkins is going to LSU, so he ain't got the Tulsa benefit working for him. Benefit in air quotes there. Now, I want to get to the Broyles Award, where it's special to me, and I asked for this one. I got a vote this year. I'm very proud to have a vote for the Broyles Award this year. I care so much about the rising stars in this sport. We do a diamond in the rough segment. I put a lot of thought into assistants that I think are going to be the next head coaches and the next stars of our sport, right? Like talking about Lincoln Riley when he was at East Carolina. That's how far it goes back for me. I talk about Brian Hartline until I'm blue in the face. So when we talk about the Broyles Award, I'm looking at Sean Lewis at Colorado as my pick here. And the reason I'm doing it is because, once again, it's about exceeding expectations. Garrett Riley won the Broyles Award because didn't nobody expect Texas Christian to be good in 2022. They were 5-7 in 2021. He took the second-string quarterback and turned him into a Heisman finalist. Sean Lewis can do that with what was the best HBCU quarterback and one of the best FCS quarterbacks and one of the best quarterbacks in the sport, Shedeur Sanders, this year. The offense is going to be volatile. It's going to be explosive. It's going to be fast. It has been compared to riding a bicycle down a volcano as it is erupting. Being elite problem solvers on the fly. Staying cool under fire. You don't have a fight or flight mechanism. You only have a fight mechanism. I think that's how Sean Lewis is built, and he knows what he's up against. He hears me talking about him. He hears them over there discounting him. I'm fired up to see what he got going over there. And I would like nothing more than to see one of those dudes from Colorado step up in a big way, whether it be him or Charles Kelly, to help lead that program to something that, well, they haven't experienced in quite a very long time. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.